So, fierce fighting has continued in eastern Ukraine with just hours to go before tonight's midnight deadline for the guns to be silenced. Pro-Russian rebels have stepped up their efforts to seize new territory before the planned ceasefire comes into effect. Clashes have been reported around towns and villages from Luhansk in the north to Mariupol on the southern coast. But the biggest rebel bombardment came around the strategic town of Debaltseve, close to rebel-held city of Donetsk. Our chief correspondent, Thomson, is in Donetsk tonight. Alex.
Well, you know, a part of you, just on a human level, just wants to have simple faith that what is proposed for midnight will be imposed at midnight. But the signs all day long have been anything but positive. Diplomatic mudslinging amongst all parties globally. And right here in Donetsk, I counted no fewer than 64 explosions from artillery and from mortar rounds and rockets in just that period of time. Roaring to the battlefield hours before a supposed ceasefire. Where there are people in Donetsk, they're frightened.
We really believe in the ceasefire, although we have doubts. We keep hearing all that, but we still have hope.
There are parts of Donetsk where almost all the people have fled, and only the packs of hungry dogs remain. It is a wasteland of broken glass and mangled buildings from the months of bombardment. Some have so little faith in the midnight truce they're leaving even now. These civilians fleeing to Russia today, hours before it's all supposed to end. Fierce fighting again around Debaltseve, where a large Ukrainian force is all but surrounded by these rebels. Donetsk rebel leader says they will honour the ceasefire everywhere except in internal areas and if the Ukrainians try to break out from Debaltseve. In other words, they'll honour the truce everywhere except where they won't. Against all that, these Ukrainian tanks were taking up positions in the area today, hardly the build-up to a truce, you might think. America isn't exactly lifting the mood either, blaming Russia for shifting heavy weapons into Ukraine at the last minute and using them.
The Russian military has deployed a large amount of artillery and multiple rocket launcher systems around Debaltseve, where it is shelling Ukrainian positions. We are confident that these are Russian military, not separatist systems.
America's ambassador to Ukraine today tweeted these images, which he claimed are recent satellite photos of Russian forces around Debaltseve. And Ukraine's president said last night what everyone seems to be saying: the ceasefire is in great danger. That'll be the ceasefire that hasn't even started yet. In this often surreal war, we meet a rebel spokesman who gives his name as the Cat. Skeptical of ceasefires, he talks of expanding the rebel state. Dnipropetrovsk, Kharkov, maybe even Mariupol. He said, believe me, when people in these cities wake up to the hell that is Ukraine, they'll rise up and be free. Life will carry on here, and the important things in life are ice fishing in this season. And when it comes to the ceasefire, people also will say life will carry on as it has done before. And that means, yes, there'll be some kind of a ceasefire, but people here firmly believe after a while all sides will go back to the fighting, just as they have done after every previous ceasefire here. Across town, normal life attempted again, a Valentine's Day wedding photo outside the city theatre. Inside, the cast prepares to go on stage. It's not very peaceful, of course, but we'll act and work because people still want to live and be happy. The welcoming band in the foyer strikes up. The auditorium fills even here. And the show that must go on does go on. Until this, Mortars land near the theatre, killing at least 2 people on the streets outside. Reality shattered the dream today. The show stopped, the theatre emptied early. Will Peace at Midnight prove anything more than a fantasy violently cut short?